Act 1. Scene 1, Northampton, a room of state in the palace. Enter King John, Queen Elinor, Pembroke, Essex, Salisbury, and others with Chatillon. King John. Now say, Chatillon, what would France with us? Chapter 100, Chatillon. Thus, after greeting, speaks the King of France. In my behavior to the Majesty, the borrowed Majesty of England here, Queen Elinor. A strange beginning, borrowed Majesty. King John. Silence, good mother, hear the embassy. Chapter 100, Chatillon. Philip of France, in right and true behalf of thy deceased brother Geoffrey's son, Arthur Plantagenet, lays most lawful claim to this fair island and the territories, to Ireland, Poitiers, Anjou, Touraine, Maine, desiring thee to lay aside the sword, which sways usurpingly these several titles, and put the same into young Arthur's hand, thy nephew and right royal sovereign. King John. What follows if we disallow of this? Chapter 100, Chatillon. The proud control of fierce and bloody war, to enforce these rights so forcibly withheld. King John. Here have we war for war, and blood for blood. Controlment for controlment, so answer France. Chapter 100, Chatillon. Then take my king's defiance from my mouth, the farthest limit of my embassy. King John. Bear mine to him, and so depart in peace. Be thou as lightning in the eyes of France, for ere thou canst report, I will be there. The thunder of my cannon shall be heard. So hence be thou the trumpet of our wrath, and sullen presage of your own decay. An honourable conduct let him have. Pembroke, look to t farewell Chatillon. Exeunt Chatillon and Pembroke. Queen Elinor. What now, my son, have I not ever said? How that ambitious Constance would not cease, till she had kindled France and all the world upon the right and party of her son. This might have been prevented and made whole with very easy arguments of love, which now the manage of two kingdoms must, with fearful bloody issue, arbitrate. King John. Our strong possession and our right for us. Queen Elinor. Your strong possession much more than your right, or else it must go wrong with you and me. So much my conscience whispers in your ear, which none but heaven and you and I shall hear. Enter a sheriff who whispers to Essex. Essex. My liege, here is the strangest controversy. Come from the country to be judge 500 by you. That ere I heard, shall I produce the men? King John. Let them approach. Our abbeys and our priories shall pay this expedition's charge. Enter Robert Falconbridge and Philip, his bastard brother. What men are you? Bastard. Your faithful subject, I, a gentleman, born in Northamptonshire, and eldest son, as I suppose, to Robert Falconbridge, a soldier by the honour-giving hand of Coeur de Lion, knighted in the field. King John. What art thou? Robert, the son and heir to that same Falconbridge. King John. Is that the elder, and art thou the heir? You came not of one mother then, it seems. Bastard. Most certain of one mother, mighty king. That is well known, and, as I think, one father. But for the certain knowledge of that truth, I put you o'er to heaven and to my mother. Of that I doubt, as all men's children may. Queen Elinor. Out on thee, rude man, thou dost shame thy mother, and wound her honor with this diffidence. Bastard. Chapter 1. Madam, no, I have no reason for it. That is my brother's plea, and none of mine. The which if he can prove, he pops me out. At least from fair, £500 a year. Heaven guard my mother's honor and my land. King John. A good blunt fellow, why being younger born, doth he lay claim to thine inheritance? Bastard. I know not why, except to get the land. But once he slander 500 me with bastardy. But where I be as true begot or no, that still I lay upon my mother's head. But that I am as well begot, my liege. Fair fall the bones that took the pains for me. Compare our faces, and be judge yourself. If old Sir Robert 999 beget us both, and were our father and this son like him. O old Sir Robert, father, on my knee, I give heaven thanks I was not like to thee. King John. Why, what a madcap hath heaven lent us here. Queen Elinor. He hath a trick of Coeur de Lion's face. The accent of his tongue affecteth him. Do you not read some tokens of my son in the large composition of this man? King John. Mine eye hath well examined his parts, and finds them perfect. Richard, sirrah, speak. What doth move you to claim your brother's land? Bastard. Because he hath a half face like my father. With half that face would he have all my land. A half fac 500 groat, £500 a year. Robert. My gracious liege, when that my father 54,500. Your brother 999, employ my father much. Bastard. Well, sir, by this you cannot get my land. Your tale must be how he employ 500 my mother. Robert. And once dispatch 500 him in an embassy to Germany, there with the emperor, to treat of high affairs touching that time. Advantage of his absence took the king, and in the meantime sojourn 500 at my father's, where how he 999 prevail I shame to speak. But truth is truth, large lengths of seas and shores between my father and my mother lay, as I have heard my father speak himself, when this same lusty gentleman was got. Upon his deathbed, he by will bequeath 500 his lands to me, and took it on his death, that this my mother's son was none of his. And if he were, he came into the world full 14 weeks before the course of time. Then, good my liege, let me have what is mine, my father's land, as was my father's will. King John. Sirrah, your brother is legitimate. Your father's wife 999 after wedlock bare him. And if she 999 play false, the fault was hers. Which fault lies on the hazards of all husbands. That merry wives, tell me how if my brother, who, as you say, took pains to get this son, had of your father claim 500 this son for his. In sooth, good friend, your father might have kept this calf bred from his cow from all the world. In sooth he might, then, if he were my brother's. My brother might not claim him, nor your father. Being none of his, refuse him, this concludes. My mother's son, 999, get your father's heir. Your father's heir must have your father's land. Robert, shall then my father's will be of no force to dispossess that child which is not his. Bastard, of no more force to dispossess me, sir, than was his will to get me, as I think. Queen Elinor, whether hadst thou rather be a Falconbridge, and like thy brother to enjoy thy land, or the reputed son of Coeur de Lion, lord of thy presence and no land besides? Bastard, madam, and if my brother had my shape, and I had his, Sir Robert's his like him, and if my legs were 2 such riding rods, my arms such ill-skin stuff 500, my face so thin, that in mine ear I durst not stick a rose, lest men should say, look where 3 farthings goes, and to his shape were heir to all this land, would I might never stir from off this place, I would give it every foot to have this face, I would not be Sir Nob in any case. Queen Elinor, I like thee well, wilt thou forsake thy fortune? Bequeath thy land to him, and follow me. I am a soldier, and now bound to France. Bastard, brother, take you my land, I 100 take my chance. Your face hath got £500 a year, yet sell your face for 5 pence, and 'tis dear. Madam, I 100 follow you unto the death. Queen Elinor, nay, I would have you go before me thither. Bastard, our country manners give our betters way. King John, what is thy name? Bastard, Philip my liege, so is my name begun. Philip, good old Sir Robert's wife's eldest son. King John, from henceforth bear his name whose form thou bearest. Kneel thou down, Philip, but rise more great. Arise, Sir Richard and Plantagenet. Bastard, brother by mother's side, give me your hand. My father gave me honor, yours gave land. Now blessed be the hour, by night or day, when I was got, Sir Robert was away. Queen Elinor, the very spirit of Plantagenet. I am thy grandam, Richard, call me so. Bastard, madam, by chance but not by truth, what though? Something about, a little from the right, in at the window, or else o'er the hatch. Who dares not stir by day, must walk by night, and have his have, however men do catch. Near or far off, well one is still well shot, and I am I, howe'er I was begot. King John, go Falconbridge, now hast thou thy desire. A landless knight makes thee a landed squire. Come, madam, and come, Richard, we must speed. For France, for it is more than need. Bastard, brother, adieu, good fortune come to thee. For thou wast got way of honesty. Exeunt all but the bastard. A foot of honor, better than I was. But many foot of land, the worse. Well, now can I make any Joan a lady? Good den, Sir Richard, God a mercy fellow. And if his name be George, I 100 call him Peter. For new-made honor doth forget men's names. 'Tis too respective and too sociable. For your conversion, now your traveller. He and his toothpick at my worship's mess. And when my nightly stomach is suffic 500, why then I suck my teeth and catechize. My picked man of countries, my dear sir. Thus leaning on mine elbow I begin. I shall beseech you, that is question now. And then comes answer, like an absai book. "Oh, sir," says answer, "at your best command. At your employment, at your service, sir." "No, sir," says question, "I sweet sir at yours." And so, ere answer knows what question would. Saving in dialogue of compliment. And talking of the Alps and Apennines, the Pyrenean and the river Po. It draws toward supper in conclusion so. But this is worshipful society, and fits the mounting spirit like myself. For he is but a bastard to the time, that doth not smack of observation. And so am I, whether I smack or no. And not alone in habit and device, exterior form, outward accoutrement, but from the inward motion to deliver. Sweet, sweet, sweet poison for the age's tooth, which, though I will not practice to deceive, yet to avoid deceit I mean to learn. For it shall strew the footsteps of my rising. But who comes in such haste in riding robes? What woman post is this, hath she no husband, that will take pains to blow a horn before her? Enter Lady Falconbridge and James Gurney. "O me tease my mother, how now, good lady? What brings you here to court so hastily?" Chapter 50, Adi Falconbridge. "Where is that slave, thy brother, where is he, that holds in chase mine honor up and down?" "Bastard! My brother Robert, old Sir Robert's son. Colbrand the giant, that same mighty man. Is it Sir Robert's son that you seek so?" Chapter 50, Adi Falconbridge. "Sir Robert's son, aye, thou unreverend boy. Sir Robert's son, why scorn'st thou at Sir Robert? He is Sir Robert's son, and so art thou. Bastard! James Gurney, wilt thou give us leave a while?" "Gurney! Good leave, good Philip." "Bastard! Philip Sparrow, James. There's toys abroad, anon I tell thee more. Madam, I was not old Sir Robert's son. Sir Robert might have eat his part in me upon Good Friday, and ne'er broke his fast. Sir Robert could do well, Mary, to confess. Could get me, Sir Robert could not do it. We know his handiwork, therefore, good mother. To whom am I beholding for these limbs? Sir Robert never holp to make this leg." Chapter 50, Adi Falconbridge. "Hast thou conspired with thy brother too, that for thine own gain shouldst defend mine honor? What means this scorn, thou most untoward knave?" "Bastard! Night, night, good mother, basilisco-like. What, I am dubbed 500, I have it on my shoulder. But mother, I am not Sir Robert's son. I have disclaimed 500 Sir Robert, and my land. Legitimation, name, and all is gone. Then, good my mother, let me know my father's. Some proper man, I hope, who was it, mother?" Chapter 50, Adi Falconbridge. "Hast thou denied thyself of Falconbridge?" "Bastard! As faithfully as I deny the devil." Chapter 50, Adi Falconbridge. "King Richard Coeur de Lion was thy father. By long and vehement suit I was seduct 500, to make room for him in my husband's bed. Heaven lay not my transgression to my charge. Thou art the issue of my dear offense, which was so strongly 500 past my defense. Bastard! Now by this light were I to get again. Madam, I would not wish a better father. Some sins do bear their privilege on earth, and so doth yours. Your fault was not your folly. Nades must you lay your heart at his dispose. subjected tribute to commanding love, against whose fury and unmatched force the aweless lion could not wage the fight, nor keep his princely heart from Richard's hand. He that perforce robs lions of their hearts may easily win a woman's, I, my mother. With all my heart I thank thee for my father, who lives and dares but say thou didst not well. When I was got, I 100 send his soul to hell. Come, lady, I will show thee to my kin, and they shall say, when Richard me begot, if thou hadst said him nay, it had been sin. Who says it was, he lies, I say 'twas not. Act 2. Scene 1, France, before the walls of Angers. Enter on one side the Archduke of Austria and forces, on the other Philip King of France, Louis, Constance, Arthur and forces. Chapter 50, Wheeze. Before Angers well met, brave Austria. Arthur, that great forerunner of thy blood. Richard, that robbed 500 the lion of his heart, and fought the holy wars in Palestine. By this brave Duke came early to his grave, and for amends to his posterity. At our importance hither is he come, to spread his colours, boy, in thy behalf, and to rebuke the usurpation of thy unnatural uncle, English John. Embrace him, love him, give him welcome hither. Arthur, God shall forgive you Coeur de Lion's death, the rather that you give his offspring life, shadowing their right under your wings of war. I give you welcome with a powerless hand, but with a heart full of unstained love. Welcome before the gates of Angers, Duke. Chapter 50, Wheeze. A noble boy who would not do thee right. Austria, upon thy cheek lay I this zealous kiss, as seal to this indenture of my love, that to my home I will no more return, till Angers and the right thou hast in France, together with that pale, that white fac 500 shore, whose foot spurns back the ocean's roaring tides, and coops from other lands her islanders, even till that England hedge 500 in with the main, that water-walled bulwark still secure, and confident from foreign purposes, even till that utmost corner of the west. Salute thee for her king, till then, fair boy. Will I not think of home, but follow arms? Chapter 100, Constance. Oh, take his mother's thanks, a widow's thanks, till your strong hand shall help to give him strength, to make a more requital to your love. Austria. The peace of heaven is theirs that lift their swords in such a just and charitable war. King Philip. Well then, to work, our cannon shall be bent against the brows of this resisting town. Call for our chiefest men of discipline, to cull the plots of best advantages. We 100 lay before this town our royal bones, weighed to the marketplace in Frenchmen's blood. But we will make it subject to this boy. Chapter 100, Constance. Stay for an answer to your embassy, lest unadvised 500 you stain your swords with blood. My Lord Chatillon may from England bring that right in peace which here we urge in war, and then we shall repent each drop of blood that hot rash haste so indirectly shed. Enter Chatillon. King Philip. A wonder, lady, lo, upon thy wish. Our messenger Chatillon is a Riv 500. What England says, say briefly, gentle lord. We coldly pause for thee, Chatillon, speak. Chapter 100, Chatillon. Then turn your forces from this paltry sea, and stir them up against a mightier task. England, impatient of your just demands, hath put himself in arms, the adverse winds, whose leisure I have stay 500, have given him time to land his legions all as soon as I. His marches are expedient to this town, his forces strong, his soldiers confident. With him along is come the mother queen, and 8 stirring him to blood and strife. With her niece, the Lady Blanche of Spain. With them a bastard of the king's Decius, 500. And all unsettled humours of the land. Rash, inconsiderate, fiery voluntaries. With ladies, faces, and fierce dragons' spleens. Have sold their fortunes at their native homes, bearing their birthrights proudly on their backs, to make a hazard of new fortunes here. In brief, a braver choice of dauntless spirits than now the English bottoms have wafted o'er. 999 never float upon the swelling tide, to do offence and scathe in Christendom. Drums beat within. The interruption of their churlish drums cuts off more circumstance, they are at hand. To parley or to fight, therefore prepare. King Philip, how much unlook 500 for is this expedition? Austria, by how much unexpected, by so much. We must awake, endeavour for defence. For courage mounteth with occasion. Let them be welcome then, we are prepare 500. Enter King John, Elinor, Blanche, the bastard, Pembroke, lords and forces. King John, peace be to France, if France in peace permit our just and lineal entrance to our own. If not, bleed France, and peace ascend to heaven. Whiles we, God's wrathful agent, do correct their proud contempt that beats his peace to heaven. King Philip, peace be to England, if that war return. From France to England, there to live in peace. England we love, and for that England's sake, with burden of our armour, here we sweat. This toil of ours should be a work of thine. But thou from loving England art so far, that thou hast, underwrought his lawful king, cut off the sequence of posterity, outfaced infant state, and done a rape upon the maiden virtue of the crown. Look here upon thy brother Geoffrey's face. These eyes, these brows, were moulded out of his. This little abstract doth contain that large, which died in Geoffrey, and the hand of time shall draw this brief into as huge a volume. That Geoffrey was thy elder brother born, and this his son, England was Geoffrey's right. And this is Geoffrey in the name of God. How comes it then that thou art called 500 a king, when living blood doth in these temples beat, which owe the crown that thou orchesterest? King John, from whom hast thou this great commission, France? To draw my answer from thy articles. King Philip, from that supernal judge that stirs good thoughts in any breast of strong authority, to look into the blots and stains of right. That judge hath made me guardian to this boy, under whose warrant I impeach thy wrong, and by whose help I mean to chastise it. King John, alack, thou dost usurp authority. King Philip, excuse it is to beat usurping down. Queen Elinor, who is it thou dost call usurper France? Chapter 100, Constance. Let me make answer, thy usurping son. Queen Elinor. Out, insolent, thy bastard shall be king, that thou mayst be a queen, and check the world. Chapter 100, Instance. My bed was ever to thy son as true, as thine was to thy husband, and this boy, liker in feature to his father Geoffrey, than thou and John in manners, being as like as rain to water, or devil to his dam. My boy a bastard, by my soul I think, his father never was so true begot. It cannot be, and if thou wert his mother. Queen Elinor. There's a good mother, boy, that blots thy father. Chapter 100, Instance. There's a good grandam, boy, that would blot thee. Austria. Basil. Bastard. Hear the crier. Austria. What the devil art thou? Bastard. One that will play the devil, sir, with you. And he may catch your hide, and you alone. You are the heir of whom the proverb goes, whose valor plucks dead lions by the beard. Chapter 100 Smoke your skin coat, and I catch you right. Sirrah, look to tea, I faith I will, I faith. Blanche. Oh well, 999, he become that lion's robe. That 999 disrobe the lion of that robe. Bastard. It lies as sightly on the back of him as great Alcides shows upon an ass. But ass, I 100 take that burden from your back, or lay on that shall make your shoulders crack. Austria. What cracker is this same that deafs our ears with this abundance of superfluous breath? King Philip. Louis, determine what we shall do straight. Chapter 50, Wheeze. Women and fools, break off your conference. King Philip. King John, this is the very sum of all. England and Ireland, Anjou, Touraine, Maine. In right of Arthur do I claim of thee. Wilt thou resign them, and lay down thy arms? King John. My life as soon, I do defy thee, France. Arthur of Brittany yields thee to my hand, and out of my dear love I give thee more than e'er the coward hand of France can win. Submit thee, boy. Queen Elinor. Come to thy grandam, child. Chapter 100, Instance. Do, child, go to it, grandam, child. Give grandam kingdom, and it grandam wills. Give it a plum, a cherry, and a fig. There's a good grandam. Arthur. Good my mother, peace. I would that I were low laid in my grave. I am not worth this coil that's made for me. Queen Elinor. His mother shames him so, poor boy, he weeps. Chapter 100, Instance. Now shame upon you, where she does or no. His grandam's wrongs, and not his mother's shames, draws those heaven-moving pearls from his poor eyes, which heaven shall take in nature of a fee. I with these crystal beads, heaven shall be brib 500, to do him justice and revenge on you. Queen Elinor. Thou monstrous slanderer of heaven and earth. Chapter 100, Instance. Thou monstrous injurer of heaven and earth. Call not me slanderer, thou and thine usurp the dominations, royalties, and rights of this oppressed boy. This is thy eldest son's son, infortunate in nothing but in thee. Thy sins are visited in this poor child. The canon of the law is laid on him, being but the second generation. removed from thy sin-conceiving womb. King John. Bedlam have done. Chapter 100, Constance. I have but this to say, that he is not only plagued for her sin, but God hath made her sin, and her the plague. On this removed issue, plagued for her, and with her plague, her sin his injury. Her injury, the beadle to her sin. All punish 500 in the person of this child, and all for her, a plague upon her. Queen Elinor. Thou unadvised scold, I can produce a will that bars the title of thy son. Chapter 100, Constance. I who doubts that, a will, a wicked will. A woman's will, a cankered grandam's will. King Philip. Peace, lady, pause, or be more temperate. It 99 beseems this presence to cry aim. To these 99 tuned repetitions, some trumpet summon hither to the walls. These men of Angers, let us hear them speak, whose title they admit, Arthur's or John's. Trumpet sounds, enter citizens upon the walls. Chapter 101, Tyson. Who is it that hath worn 500 us to the walls? King Philip. 'Tis France for England. King John. England for itself. You men of Angers, and my loving subjects. King Philip. You loving men of Angers, Arthur's subjects. A trumpet call 500 you to this gentle parle. King John. For our advantage, therefore hear us first. These flags of France that are advanced here, before the eye and prospect of your town, have hither march 500 to your endamagement. The cannons have their bowels full of wrath, and ready mounted are they to spit forth their iron indignation gainst your walls. All preparation for a bloody siege, and merciless proceeding by these French, confronts your city's eyes, your winking gates. And but for our approach, those sleeping stones, that as a waist doth girdle you about, by the compulsion of their ordinance, by this time from their fixed beds of lime, had been dishabited and wide havoc made, for bloody power to rush upon your peace. But on the sight of us, your lawful king, who painfully, with much expedient march, have brought a counter-check before your gates, to save unscratch 500 your city's threatened cheeks. Behold the French, amaze 500 vouchsafe a parle. And now, instead of bullets, wrap 500 in fire, to make a shaking fever in your walls. They shoot but calm words folded up in smoke, to make a faithless error in your ears, which trust accordingly, kind citizens. And let us in, your king, whose labor 500 spirits, forward in this action of swift speed, craves harborage within your city walls. King Philip. When I have said, make answer to us both. Lo, in this right hand, whose protection is most divinely, vow 500 upon the right. Of him it holds, stands young Plantagenet, son to the elder brother of this man, and king o'er him and all that he enjoys. For this downtrodden equity we tread. In warlike march these greens before your town, being no further enemy to you than the constraint of hospitable zeal. In the relief of this oppressed child, religiously provokes, be pleased then to pay that duty which you truly owe to him that owes it, namely this young prince. And then our arms, like to a muzzled bear, save in aspect, hath all offence seal 500 up. Our cannons, malice vainly shall be spent against invulnerable clouds of heaven, and with a blessed and unvex 500 retire. With unhack 500 swords and helmets, all unbruise 500. We will bear home that lusty blood again, which here we came to spout against your town, and leave your children, wives, and you in peace. But if you fondly pass our proffer 500 offer, tease not the rounger of your old fac 500 walls, can hide you from our messengers of war. Though all these English and their discipline will harbour 500 in their rude circumference, then tell us, shall your city call us lord? In that behalf which we have challenged 500 it, or shall we give the signal to our rage, and stalk in blood to our possession? First citizen. In brief, we are the King of England's subjects. For him and in his right we hold this town. King John. Acknowledge then the king, and let me in. Chapter 101, Tyson. That can we not, but he that proves the king. To him will we prove loyal, till that time. Have we ram 500 up our gates against the world? King John. Doth not the crown of England prove the king? And if not that, I bring you witnesses. Twice 15,000 hearts of England's breed. Bastard. Bastards and else. King John. To verify our title with their lives. King Philip. As many and as well-born bloods as those. Bastard. Some bastards too. King Philip. Stand in his face to contradict his claim. First citizen. Till you compound whose right is worthiest. We for the worthiest hold the right from both. King John. Then God forgive the sin of all those souls, that to their everlasting residence, before the dew of evening fall shall fleet, in dreadful trial of our kingdom's king. King Philip. Amen, amen, mount chevaliers to arms. Bastard. Saint George, that swinged the dragon and heir since, sits on's horseback at mine hostess' door. Teach us some fence, sirrah, were I at home. At your den, sirrah, with your lioness, I would set an ox head to your lion's hide, and make a monster of you. Austria. Peace no more. Bastard. Oh, tremble, for you hear the lion roar. King John. Up higher to the plain, where we 100 set forth, in best appointment all our regiments. Bastard. Speed then to take advantage of the field. King Philip. It shall be so, and at the other hill. Command the rest to stand, God and our right. Exeunt severally. Here, after excursions, enter a herald of France with trumpets to the gates. French herald. You men of Angers, open wide your gates, and let young Arthur, Duke of Brittany, in, who by the hand of France this day hath made much work for tears in many an English mother, whose sons lie scatter 500 on the bleeding ground. Many a widow's husband grovelling lies, coldly embracing the discolour 500 earth. And victory with little loss doth play upon the dancing banners of the French, who are at hand triumphantly display 500, to enter conquerors and to proclaim Arthur of Brittany England's king and yours. Enter English herald with trumpet. English herald. Rejoice, you men of Angers, ring your bells. King John, your king and England, doth approach. Commander of this hot, malicious day. Their armours, that march 500 hence so silver bright, hither return all gilt with Frenchmen's blood. There stuck no plume in any English crest. That is removed by a staff of France. Our colours do return in those same hands. That 999 display them when we first march 500 forth. And like a jolly troop of huntsmen, come. Our lusty English, all with purpled hands, died in the dying slaughter of their foes. Open your gates and give the victors way. First citizen. Heralds from off our towers we might behold, from first to last, the onset and retire of both your armies, whose equality by our best eyes cannot be censured. Blood hath bought blood, and blows have answer 500 blows. Strength match 500 with strength, and power confronted power. Both are alike, and both alike we like. One must prove greatest, while they weigh so even. We hold our town for neither, yet for both. Enter on one side King John, Elinor, Blanche, the bastard and forces, on the other King Philip, Louis, Austria and forces. King John. France hast thou, yet more blood to cast away. Say, shall the current of our right run on, whose passage vex 500 with thy impediment, shall leave his native channel, and o'erswell with course disturb 500, even thy confining shores, unless thou let his silver water keep a peaceful progress to the ocean. King Philip. England, thou hast not saved 501 drop of blood in this hot trial, more than we of France, rather lost more, and by this hand I swear, that sways the earth this climate overlooks, before we will lay down our just-born arms. We 100 put thee down, gainst whom these arms we bear, or add a royal number to the dead, gracing the scroll that tells of this war's loss, with slaughter coupled to the name of kings. Bastard! Ha, Majesty, how high thy glory towers, when the rich blood of kings is set on fire. Oh, now doth death line his dead chaps with steel. The swords of soldiers are his teeth, his fangs. And now he feasts, mousing the flesh of men, in undetermined 500 differences of kings. Why stand these royal fronts amazed thus? Cry havoc, kings, back to the stained field. You equal potence, fiery kindled spirits. Then let confusion of one part confirm the other's peace, till then blows blood and death. King John, whose party do the townsmen yet admit. King Philip. Speak, citizens, for England, who's your king? First citizen. The King of England, when we know the king. King Philip. Know him in us, that here hold up his right. King John. In us, that are our own great deputy, and bear possession of our person here. Lord of our presence, Angers, and of you. First citizen. A greater power than we denies all this. Until it be undoubted, we do lock our former scruple in our strong bar 500 gates. Kings of our fear, until our fears resolve 500. Be by some certain king purg 500, and depose 500. Bastard! By heaven, these scrolls of Angers flout you, kings, and stand securely on their battlements, as in a theatre whence they gape and point at your industrious scenes and acts of death. Your royal presences be roll 500 by me. Do like the mutines of Jerusalem. Be friends a while, and both conjointly bend your sharpest deeds of malice on this town. By east and west, let France and England mount their battering cannon charged to the mouths, till their soul-fearing clamours have brawled 500 down the flinty ribs of this contemptuous city. Chapter 1. 500 play incessantly upon these jades, even till unfenced desolation. Leave them as naked as the vulgar air. That done, dissever your united strengths, and part your mingled colours once again. Turn face to face, and bloody point to point. Then, in a moment, fortune shall cull forth out of one side her happy minion, to whom in favour she shall give the day, and kiss him with a glorious victory. How like you this wild counsel, mighty states? Smacks it not something of the policy? King John, now by the sky that hangs above our heads, I like it well. France, shall we knit our powers, and lay this Angers even with the ground? Then after fight, who shall be king of it? Bastard! And if thou hast the mettle of a king, being wrong 500, as we are by this peevish town, turn thou the mouth of thy artillery, as we will ours, against these saucy walls. And when that we have dash 500 them to the ground, why then defy each other, and pell-mell make work upon ourselves for heaven or hell? King Philip, let it be so. Say, where will you assault? King John,